This program was brought to you by Koller Institute of Venture at Tel Aviv University.
Hello, here I am today at the Koller Institute of Venture workshop on deep innovation, and I'm with Dr. Noam Shomron from the Faculty of Medicine here at Tel Aviv University. Noam, thank you for joining us today. We had a very interesting presentation on how life is going to be in at least 10 years from now regarding medical applications. So you have a lot of information on the genome and genetic sequencing now. What do you do with all this information?
That's a very good question. The first thing we do is we collect all the DNA sequences of healthy human beings and of sick individuals. And we try to understand what the connection between the change in the DNA and what you can actually see on the outside. So it could be a pill that someone takes and feels bad and it helps for another person. So we would align all the DNA sequences, we'll have large enough groups, and pinpoint the exact position where the change in DNA actually causes the effect. So this is the first stage of diagnostics and obviously the first stage of therapeutics where you can identify the changes. It's not only limited to human beings, you can identify the pathogens around you. You can even sequence your meal and see if it's a cow or a horse you're eating. So there's DNA everywhere and around us. We could read it, and we're in the era of interpretation. We have to understand it now.
And we have a lot of information. Is it easy to understand, or are we still some years off actually understanding what the messages are that it's telling us?
So it's extremely complex, but we're taking step by step. The first mutations we can identify are strong mutations that would definitely cause a disease. A mutation in CFTR, for example, can cause cystic fibrosis. However, there are other mutations that can cause susceptibility to diseases. So if you have a mutation, you are more likely to be diagnosed with cancer at an early age, for example. But this is more likely. It's not certain. And the other mutations maybe would cause a small increase in likelihood, but maybe you can affect the outcome if you change your lifestyle. So this is a very large gray cloud, and we're trying to understand it, whether it's black or white.
Okay. And finally, what about looking at the genetics per gender? Do we apply the same? Are you looking at the messages that apply for women, and are they different from men? And what is going on in that side of medicine?
So that's a very good question. Of course, a large portion of our study is on women's health. Maybe it might be a little bit neglected in the past decades. We take DNA of females, of women, and we try to understand why the effect is different in various diseases, whether it be breast cancer or susceptibility to other diseases and drug effects.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting, and thank you for your talk today. Thank you.
Thank you.
This program was brought to you by Koller Institute of Venture at Tel Aviv University.